Testing 1, 2, 3, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for dropping by. As always, Bronze Dragon sitting here in the chair telling you thanks for your time. So this is the 25th episode of the Sunday afternoon live stream where we discuss Atlas Earth. Sometimes it runs an hour, sometimes it goes over. Last week we went over an hour and a half. Lots of good things to discuss. Unfortunately, Annalise will not be able to be here with us today, but fortunately for her, because she's having lunch with her grandma. So it's always good to spend time with family. As I told her earlier, there's a lot of things you'll look back on your life and you'll maybe decide that it was a waste of time during doing certain things, but spending time with family is not one of those things you will ever regret. So it's good for her. But we'll carry on. We are coming down to the end of August. In fact, this is the last day of August. I hope you have completed your challenge ladder by now. And I hope if you wanted to subscribe for September, you did it yesterday for the challenge ladder or for the Explorer Club for that matter. But you need to get your payment in not on the last day of the month because they charge it at some point during the last day of the month. So we learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way the first time that happened in November. So I figured I keep telling people about it so you're not late on your subscription. Either way, I completed mine about midway through the month, the 12th of the month. It was an interesting month because they changed things up somewhat. We're getting ready to rock and roll into September. I'm ready to go for my September, earn my badge and my LPU. I've been able to complete it every month. So as I've said in a lot of videos, I consider that if you can complete the challenge ladder at least 70%, it's worth the money, putting the $10 in per month. So you get more than your money back on Atlas bucks, and especially if you finish it off and get your LPU, that's just like the icing on the cake. Okay, let us dive into chat, see what everybody's been up to this month and this week, and see what everybody plans on doing. First of all, let me get a sip of coffee out of my Atlas Earth mug. Please leave a like on the video or on the live stream to let YouTube know that it's worth other people looking into, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, there's this new thing coming out. You'll start seeing it on YouTube. You watch various people. It's called Hype. And it's not exactly 100% clear exactly what that does, but you can hype up to, I guess, 3 videos a week. So if you see that pop up and want to use one of your hypes on me, I would appreciate it. Bladester's in the house. Welcome, Bladester. Cerezy's here. Welcome. Member of the channel, supporting the channel. Appreciate it. I wanted to just take a quick minute here and say thanks to, let's see here. These are the supporters of my channel, my members. Donnie S., DJ Dubstomp, Ann Jazenko. Sorry if I butchered your last name. Angelo, King of Queens, Jack Gamble, Andrew Billum, KGM Jam, Epicenter Gaming, Ashley Stanfield, Jason B Channel, and Cerezy. Once again, I wanted to give a big shout out and thanks for those people that are supporting the channel. It just seems, that stuff goes for things to keep the channel running. Like last month, I had to buy a new microphone. So I do appreciate it. And if you are interested in supporting the channel, please click that join button and look at your options. But okay, on to the show. Droid Dude says good morning. Or good afternoon, good noontime, depending upon where you are in the world, right? We've got people joining from all over the world, morning, afternoon, evening. I appreciate your time, especially if you are on the other side of the world, like Australia, New Zealand, that kind of area, and if you're getting up in the middle of the night. Thanks. Good on you. Eric Wang's here. Good morning. Scott Kovac is here. Welcome. Hey there, humans. Let's see here. Bladester says, yes, family first, always important. I agree 100%. Hey, it's Sherry. Good morning. Tanner is here. Hola. Paul Stefanik is here. Good morning to you as well. Power Daz is in the house. Hey. Cerezy says, I have a question. I bought something through the online stores in the AMP program this morning. If it takes a few days for me to receive credit, will that go towards my September challenge ladder? You know what? That is a good question. I don't have a specific answer for you. That would be something that I would ask Annalise, and she said she's going to watch this on a replay. So maybe later this afternoon we will have an answer, and I can just kind of put it in the notes, or where people reply on this video. I'll put it there. But if you bought something from the Atlas Earth store, it usually does take about 2 business days to get credit, because they have to manually do that. And then, yeah, so that's a good question. So the question would be, because you made the purchase within August, would it credit toward, you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. If you don't get credit till tomorrow, it's going to be in the new month. So I'm betting that it'll be credit on the new month, because there's no way they can go back to the old month, But we'll wait, and I'll throw that at Annalise and see what she has to say, and then I'll add it to the the replies below this video so you can check it out. Bladester says, yes, I have charged last night for September. Yeah, got the charge in, yeah. Lee's here says, with the sell plot feature raising to 2,500, pretty much guarantees will not get real auctions other than to bid on landmarks, which is a shame. I'm hoping that they find a way to resolve this, because, I know there's a lot of people on the Reddit and everything that were going on about, oh, just turn it off. I'm like, that's just looking at the situation. That's just looking at the present day, okay? That's not looking down the road where this feature is going to come into its own, right? So the sell parcels feature, I know it's being abused and why they're doing that, right? And I completely agree with that. But I tend to lean on the side of the fence of hoping that they find a good solution to keep it in the game. Hey, Scott Kovac, welcome to the channel. He just joined. He is a hatchling. And speaking of that, I added a new emote. One of the things about being a hatchling is you get access to special emotes. And so now we have the Atlas Earth logo, we have the boost button, and now we have the AB icon like that. So thanks, Scott, for becoming a member. But back on what we were talking about after I get a little sip of coffee. Yeah, I was trying to get back on page here. Yeah, I hope that the sell feature does not leave the game for good, because yes, it is not used much right now, because there's so many parcels out there. But I can extrapolate. Just look at a major city right now. Just, open up, and, this is more here in the United States because it's been going for so long. But the major cities are going to sell out of parcels the fastest. I mean, logic says that, right? The more population in an area, the faster, the more people are likely going to play the game, and the faster it's going to sell out. And when these areas start selling out, that is when the sell parcel feature will come into its own, And I'm just saying, from the basic premise of being able to buy a parcel on the corner of whatever famous street downtown in your area, and be able to resell it for 10 or 15 or 20 times what you bought it for, and then buy more parcels elsewhere. That's just basic land buying and selling type gameplay, right? So I agree, there's a problem. People are abusing it to do things against the terms of service. I agree they need to do something about it, and I just hope that they find a way to rescue that functionality within the game. So, okay, so let's go on. Tanner says, not sure. Good question. Jamie's here. Jamie from Michigan. Hello. Tanner says, saving Atlas bucks. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, because after September, I will be in the savings mode as well. I've talked about this because I'm 50 away from the top of the 3 times tier. And once I get to that, obviously when you get into the 2 times multiplier, there's really no more tier jumping per se, but there is a loss that you will incur for about 225 to 240-ish parcels there. So that next, or that theoretical last tier in your journey in Atlas Earth is a pretty big one, and that's what I'm hitting right here. So I think I'm going to take and buy that last 50 parcels and get my way through my purchase parcel challenges in September. And then I will be at the top of the tier, the 3 times tier. And then I have to save up, enough to get to the break-even point in the 2 times, which is going to be, like I said, 225 to 240. So I'm thinking about doing that. And in the meantime, keep all the numbers, because there's some people that argue it's just not worth doing tier jumping. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure it out both ways and do a video on how much I saved or how much extra money I made by tier jumping my last tier versus just walking into the second tier and immediately taking that big loss on a daily basis. So anyway, just kind of on that topic of saving Atlas bucks. I'll be in the same boat as you. Scott says, finish mine pretty early again. Also am set up with my subscriptions. Good. Yeah, once you set your subscription, you don't have to worry about it. It'll just continue to charge. That's what every business, every kind of service, Netflix, everything, that's what they rely upon, right? But if you get into a month where you want to make sure that, for some reason, maybe you're running short and you don't want to subscribe, make sure that you go in and turn off the subscription before that last day of the month, or you will get charged and you will have that extra subscription. Not that I really plan on unsubscribing. I don't subscribe to the EC. Not that I don't see any reason why not to. It's just I don't want to pay the $50 a month. That's what it comes down to, right? But I still think I get great value out of the $10 a month for the challenge ladder, because up to this point I've been able to complete it. November was a bear, but in any game design, it's easier to bring your requirements down than bring them up, and that's what they did. So, and I think this year they've largely just been playing around with the order, and they've made some changes, like make the mini games play versus win, and they're probably still playing around with that. My take is they'll probably do it again for September. I don't know. I don't have any in with nobody's talking to me on the team other than Annalise once in a while, but my case is that if they want to get a set of numbers to see how a change is doing, I would think you'd have to at least run it for 2 months and then decide what you want to do with that. And possibly they go back and do a mixture. Who knows? It used to be play a certain amount and win a certain amount. I prefer to, since I'm not a really good minigame player, I prefer the play. Not that I slack off. I still play the games. But there's not as much pressure there, right? Okay, and A is in the house. Welcome, A. Isn't King of Queens the current president? He is, and he's stopped by 2 or 3 shows, and once in a while I get a ping from him. Before he took over, I got a few pings from him, basically letting me know of some of his plans so I could kind of be prepared for him from a streamer point of view, but seems like a nice enough guy. Yeah, a couple weeks ago he joined the channel. Caveman Cannabis says, good morning, Captain Caveman. Arbin's here. Good afternoon to you, Arbin. Ulysses is here. I was just thinking the same thing. President of AE, a supporter, is awesome. Yeah, I completely agree. Thanks I thank anybody for becoming a member. Like I said, a little bit of extra money comes in handy once in a while. Like a couple months back, I had to buy a new camera. Last month, I had to buy a new mic, so it comes in handy. So I appreciate it. Jamie is here. Welcome, Jamie. Name is pronounced Jaime. Oh, okay. So it's Jaime, not Jamie. Okay. Thank you for that. I'll try and remember that. Robert is here. Welcome, Nunya. Robert Nunya. Ulysses says, good morning. Anyone know where the referral for friends went? It went out the door. And that was about 3 months ago now. They removed it from the game. And here's the story on that. At that point in time, they said that They were not happy with the, like I talk about a lot in my videos, there's a lot of these things within Atlas Earth that are third-party services. In other words, other companies doing the services. Like the arcade is run by another company, the surveys is run by another company, travel's run by another company. So it was run by a different company. So for some reason they weren't happy, or they wanted to change that system around, so they removed it from the game. At that point in time, they said that the new system should be in place by the fall, which an end of year really. And we are in the fall now here in the States, right? It's different seasons wherever you're at, but here in the States, we're in the fall now, and they haven't really talked about it much. But consider that the last open house, the last AMA Sami did a couple weeks ago, he talked about they are redoing a lot of things within the game. So my guess is that the rework of the referral system is put in with everything else. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Obviously, you see I still use my code. They say that, if you still have an old code, it should still work. That's why I still keep mine listed in my videos, just in case somebody wants to use it, wants to get 200 free Atlas bucks, and then I get 100 on this, when they complete their first 10 as well. And up to now, mine is still working. Although last week, Annalise said that some people's have stopped working. So I'm kind of figuring that they're in the working process of just removing that old system altogether. Obviously, they stopped listing it within the app. But there's a lot of back end work. I'm a Salesforce administrator, so there's a lot of things I do within Salesforce that involves downloading these large portions of data, changing the data, re-uploading it to, I think it's something like that on the back end, where they'll have to eventually remove everybody that has an old code and then put into place whatever the new system is. Looking forward to that, looking forward to the details of it. I hope and cross my fingers that they don't nerf it. This system has really helped me out. Not that I get a ton of Atlas bucks, but some. It's just a slow trickle, and it always has been. But it's better than nothing, and I think it's a great thing for their marketing, because whenever everybody gets the use of it again, then you can start using it. And I mean, what could it do? I mean, it just helps the game gain more people. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, when it comes out and we have some solid information on what the new system involves and what the details are, I'll put a video out. That'll be one of my first videos. So love the system, and it's helped me out a lot. And I talk about it in a lot of my videos, where some of my older videos still have that in there, because I tell, from a new user standpoint, how to earn Atlas bucks and stuff. I always mention it because you got to mention it, right? But that kind of makes those videos outdated. I think I might need to go back through some of my old videos and kind of classify them classic Atlas Earth, or some other term to say that this information. I might need to put a little statement to say some of this information might be a little bit outdated, because this game has changed so much. You would think I've been doing Atlas Earth videos for 5 or 10 years, but I've just been doing it for about a year, a little bit over a year now, year and a half or something like that. And already some of the information on some of my older videos is out of date. So that's a big thing I have to tackle. I have to tackle on another game I play, Splinterlands, as well, because some of that stuff is outdated too. Okay, Caveman says, now that your friendly Atlas Earth neighborhood captain is here, how in the Atlas Earth are you all? Well, I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice sunny fall day out here. My daughter was out waxing the cars yesterday, and hopefully she'll get to mine today. But we had a bunch of wind last couple of days, and I've got to go out and clean up some dead limbs that fell in the yard. But otherwise, it's a nice day. Went out for ice cream last night. Took the girls out for ice cream. Droid Dude says you got the Atlas bucks to finish your tier. Get her done. Yeah, I can finish the tier and get to the top of it, but then it's going to be a long save. Cerezi says it would help out for September's challenges for sure if it works out. Going to be saving up all month because my next tier jump is a pretty big one. Now, hopefully the AMP challenge is up on your first set of challenges. Other than that, if not, I would be working fast and furious to clear some of those other challenges before it goes through. And Ulysses sends through a super chat. Thank you, Ulysses. And I just discussed the friend referral code. And yes, the last thing they said, it is coming back, but it's been redesigned. So I'm jumping around in chat trying to stay up to date. Arbin sends out the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, Arbin. Always appreciate it. Ulysses is now a member of the channel. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Let's jump back. I think I talked about your topic there. Let me know if you want to talk about something else. Okay, jumping back. Void Tyran is here. Welcome. Says, do you recommend the whole Explorer thing? And also, how can I purchase it? I can't really find it anywhere. I think I did a video comparing the value that I see out of purchasing Atlas bucks by basic money, and the Explorer Club is the top value because if you can complete the Explorer Club, you get the most for your $10 as far as Atlas bucks, as well as that legendary parcel upgrade. That's the best value in my mind when I did the numbers. Explorer Club is next below that. You get a lot of value. You get, let me say this, you get much better value out of the Explorer Club, $50 a month, than just outright buying parcel packs. Okay. If I was going to spend on the game other than the challenge ladder per month, then I would buy the Explorer Club versus the parcel packs. Much better because I divided out. There's a video on my channel. You have to check it out. But as far as buying it, you have to do it on the website. And you come to the website and then you log in and it's under buy bucks. It's under buy bucks. And you have the option. I'm not going to do it. I don't do it live on screen because it would show some personal information, which I'm trying to, not that it's not easy to find out basically anybody on the web these days, but just log into the website. It's under buy bucks and you have the option to subscribe. You're going to need a credit card. Some people have said they can do it on debit cards. I'm not sure about that, but it's just like any other subscription. You just want to subscribe. At this point in time, you would be subscribing for not September but October. So I think the Explorer Club, you can go ahead and subscribe and get it. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, those are my value principles. I like them both, but I choose not to spend the $50 per month. I'm creeping up on making $50 a month in game. You can see right here that I'm actually almost to the $500 mark, but at this point I'm making about $45 a month. I spend $10 on the challenge ladder because I know I can complete it on a monthly basis. So that takes $10 off. So I make about $35 profit per month. And in fact, I've got some money from this last super rent boost saved up that I need to go ahead and transfer into my, I put everything into PayPal savings and then remove the $10 a month to my regular bank account so I can keep an active accurate account of what I consider my profit in game. So, and at right now, I forget. I would have to open it up and see what my profit is, but maybe in another video. Scott says, thank you very much, Bronze. You're quite welcome, Scott. Tanner says, I'm saving for passports currently. Yeah, I just did the whole passport thing, came up to 20%. I want to worry about the tier jump, the first, it's not really a tier jump, but tier jump to break even going into 2 times multiplier. If you can follow that. Then after that, one of the benefits of getting past that break even point in the 2 times multiplier tier, then you just don't have to worry about tier jumping anymore. So I'm looking forward to that. And then after that, then I'll, and obviously, as I always talk about in videos and everything, if you're going on vacation or if you're going on a trip, that's a perfect time. I always default to spending on badges if I'm going somewhere out of my normal area. Unless you get to that 101 badges, which is your max boost at this point in time. They have stopped talking about doing the, they haven't said anything lately about expanding the badge system. That was something that was on the list, but it kind of fell off, I guess. Caveman says, here the rest of us are struggling with our plethora of emotions and Dragon is trying to invent new ones. Yeah, Ulysses says you can't invite friends anymore. Correct. I mean, if you have an old code, you still can. But currently, and for the last 3 months or so, it's been out of the game. Power Dad says, last week I got on the wrong bus, but at least I've got 1 more badge and another mayorship for 5 parcels. Well, there you go. Look on the bright side, right? Always look on the bright side of life. What song was that? That song was from, oh, Monty Python. I'm pretty good at thinking of all my references. Usually 50% of them come back to Monty Python. Ulysses says the mayor in my city has over 700. Well, I've got 675 right in my main area to stay mayor of mine, and I really need to put 25 of those 50 for next month in this area to kind of back it up and reinforce it. Around here, I live outside Philadelphia, but around here, it just takes large amounts of Atlas of parcels to maintain mayorship. So I'm trying to, I've got 4 and I'm trying to take over my 5th, but I'm working on that 5th. Meanwhile, I have to keep kind of adding a little bit extra to this area to keep beefing it up, because I got people kind of not sneaking up on me because I can see what they're doing, but they're working on me. Downtown Philadelphia is one of the big guys, and Philadelphia takes thousands to get. So any of the major cities at this point is probably going to take thousands. Droid Dude says only the big cities stand a chance of running out of parcels. Obviously, anywhere, any high population center is going to go first. But my point still being that at a certain point down the road, the sell parcels feature is going to come in handy. And if it's not there, then it's a shame. Robert says, I need to bring up a point. I got the notification that the trade-in for the 33 Atlas bucks. I went to the event. I noticed that the frame in button wasn't up to speed and was only set for 25. Yeah, that was some, it should have been corrected. I recognize, I saw some people were reporting that early on, you know, when the event just started, but then Annalise had said that it should have been corrected. Let me check. I don't normally do that except for if it coincides with the beginning of the month and the challenges. I'm checking on my... It always defaults to spend all of your money on Atlas bucks. Yeah, see, it's currently at 33. So, yeah, but I did see a bunch of people report that early on. Yeah, keep that in mind whenever you go to, oh, I've got to do my 2 Atlas buck ad. I keep my phone off during ads because I don't want to run into any issues with YouTube. Okay, let's jump back into chat. Bladester says the Atlas Earth team should start sharing the month growth rate on the AMAs. It'd be nice, but you've got to understand a lot of this stuff is what's considered, I want to say private, but company-only information. And I did this video last week on, and I had to pull a lot of numbers from using a couple of the different AI sources like Google and ChatGPT. So a lot of what they report is kind of generalized, and it's from the app stores. But they're doing pretty well, and most companies don't. Most companies only report to the public what they absolutely have to by law. That's what it comes down to. If you're a public company and you absolutely have to report certain numbers on a yearly basis or a 2 times a year basis or a quarterly basis, then they do that, but under duress because they don't want to put out this information, right? Certain information you would think would be good for PR, right? Saying, hey, check out how many times our game has been downloaded. But I'm not a marketing person, so I can't tell you the ins and outs of why they would not want to report that kind of stuff. But it's interesting. Once again, let's take a minute and say thanks for dropping by. As always, please leave a like on the live stream if you like this kind of content. This is episode number 25. So 25 weeks in a row we've been doing this on Sunday at noon Eastern time. And that's about to change because we're currently on daylight time, so it's fall back. So if you're in an area where you don't have daylight savings time, then it'll be an hour earlier here pretty soon. I have to check out whenever daylight savings time is ends for the summer. Okay, jumping back into chat. Ulysses says, I'm in top 20 at 28 parcels. That's nice. I don't think I'm in the top 20 of anything. I think in, let me check. I think in Pennsylvania, I'm in the top 50. I have to scroll down to see where I'm at. I am number 37 in, there's me, number 37 at 1,450. And whenever I buy my 50 parcels, that'll bring me up to, I'll probably be number 34, somewhere around there. So it is what it is. The thing about me is I'm not really worried about being on leaderboards. What I have done is I've tried to play this game and tried to document how I play this game for other people on my channel to try to play it in a logical manner and try not to give in to the feelings of, obviously the game itself would make more money if I gave in and just bought parcels and stuff like that. But from a perspective of a guy keeping a YouTube channel going, I wanted to play it as efficiently as I could and then just report on what I've been doing. Do you have to do what I do? No. You can play it however you want, right? But a lot of things we learn from other people doing something and reporting on it, and then you can make a more logical decision on what you want to do. Everybody's going to play the game a little bit differently, and if you're outside the United States, you definitely have a different income and can buy at a different rate. So you just have to decide what you're comfortable with, how much time you want to put into the game, and my main thing is just have a plan. Figure out how you want to play the game and just stick to it and just move ahead in a logical pace on a monthly basis. And then each month you're better off than what you were last month, right? So. Bladester says, this would help us know how much Atlas Earth is doing. Plus, it would be great to know the number of parcels purchased per month as well. That would be interesting. I mean, they did tell me, what was it, $8 million? This isn't parcels, but $8 million in rent has been paid out so far over the life of the game. That's an interesting thing. Rob says, I put in a ticket. I did not get my 33 for the trade-in, but did it after the notification was sent out. Okay. John says, hey, Bronze, longtime member of the playback crew, checking in live for the first time. Was curious if you'd be willing to track your Atlas Buck earning for a month to help some of us compare what we get. Well, I've done that in the past, but I don't think there's no way to make a logical comparison, okay? Because there are so many variables, and most of the variables come down to advertising. Different areas, different phone types, iOS versus Android, different, countries, cities, states. There's so many variables, and everybody's marketed to differently. You get different amounts for the actual advertising. You get different amounts for playing games on the arcade. You get different amounts for everything. So if we were in the same situation, maybe you could do a comparison. Like, say, for instance, you're on Apple, I'm on Apple, whatever. But even just this change of saying I'm on Android versus I'm on Apple, that makes a big difference. And so I don't think there's so many variables that I don't think, and there's a good way to compare. In other words, so I don't think it would serve a purpose. In a lot of my updates, I try to put out, I don't want to put out too many quote unquote my personal updates, because then I feel people get tired of hearing how I'm doing or whatever. But I do try to put them out at least once or twice a month, especially when I do my parcel buys and everything, to just let people kind of know how I'm doing, how I'm playing, what I'm concentrating on, at what point of the game I'm at, and stuff like that. But I think it's really hard to do a direct comparison, especially if you're in the United States and, say, for instance, you're in South Africa, or if you're in the UK or something like that. Everybody makes different amounts, and it's mostly down to marketing, because this whole game is based on marketing. Let's face it. Okay. So Caveman says, I'm in the top 12, the top of the 12 times tier. I am saving for a tier jump that I plan to orchestrate in bunches or stages so that I'm knocking out challenges too. Yeah, that's one thing that I had to start doing when the challenges started, right? You get to the point where, well, do I just save up and do a tier jump and not get credit for it in the challenges, or do I kind of weave them in? And that's what I've had to do. And especially going towards the top tiers, as you graduate up the scale, your tiers get wider and wider and wider. So it becomes harder and harder to do that. But generally speaking, I've been saving up. After I get like 75 or 100 parcels a month, my goal is 100 parcels a month at this point. But after I get that for the month, then I get into savings mode, right? And now I'm getting to the beginning of the top of the 3 times tier. I will have to save forward. And that means that possibly for a month or two, I won't be able to get credit for the buy parcel challenges. So I'll have to figure out, probably pay many more mini games or something or other. Hopefully they'll bring some more stores on the AMP or something or other. I'll have to figure out a different way of doing that while I'm saving my Atlas Bucks. But previously I had bought, the first one is buy 1 parcel, but then I bought like 5. And then I kind of stacked them up so that I did a bunch of challenges before I bought that first parcel. And so my buy parcel 2 would be immediately behind that. So I buy another 10 or something like that, or whatever I had Atlas Bucks for. And then, for the last couple months, I haven't been able to get 1, 2, and 3 buy parcel in a row. And buy parcel 3 didn't come until really late in the month. So I didn't even get credit for that this month. So yeah, you have to try to find a way to weave it in, because I feel that even though maybe you go into your loss, in other words, you're not at your break-even point between tiers, if you can complete that challenge ladder, it's well worth it, because you're raking in enough Atlas Bucks to make it worth it, right? Obviously, you don't want to you don't want to stay below the break-even point between the tier for as long as you can help it. I mean, you want to kind of get through there as fast as possible. Okay. JP Vapes is in the house. Welcome, JP. Says, hi, guys. How are we doing? Done well this month. I finished the challenge ladder, managed to jump 2 passport levels, and bought 30 parcels. Nice. Sounds like some good progress, JP. Slots of Kush Smoker says, hey, Bronze Dragon. Hey, Slots of Kush. Ulysses says, I was so excited when I hit the challenge goal. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to click that off and be able to collect that LPU, right? Now I just have to remember to put that LPU down, because every time I have to travel to go over where I'm placing my parcels currently, and then I get over there and I do it, and I usually record so I can make a video out of it, but then I forget to put my LPU down. Everywhere where I'm mayor, I try to put 2 LPUs down. I just keep forgetting when I go over there. Paul's here. Paul says, by October, we'll be saving Atlas bucks for badges. My goal is to keep on tier jumping until spring, not buying land until it is warmer outside. Nice. Keep up with your plan. Like I said, everybody's got a little bit of different plan. Slots of Kush says, we have similar parcel count. Caveman says, I have held my 12 times tier for long enough to earn $26 that I just reinvested during the boost. Nice. I know I'm way behind in chat. I'm just trying to get to everybody's comment. Let's see here. Slots of Kush says, I'm at 25% badge. Yeah, that's interesting. It's 101 or more. We were talking about this. Somebody had asked on one of my videos this week whether the flat boost from the parcels, from the passport, applies before, like to your base rent, or after your actual boost, whatever your boost rate is. And actually, I thought it made a difference, but I did the math, and it doesn't really make a difference. The answer is, from Annalise, the flat boost from your passport comes on your base rent before your active boost comes. But I did the math both ways, and it doesn't matter, because it's the same number. Same outcome. Hey, it's Sherry. Says, I took quite a hit getting into the 2 times tier, but it wasn't too long to recover since I'm on the global chart. Yeah, like I said, it's I looked at the numbers. It's about 225 to 240, somewhere in there. But that's I'll do the numbers going into next month, and it might take 2 months to do it. I don't know, to jump through that, and I'll do a little video on it to see what I made or what I lost, whatever. Slots of Kush says, I want state leaderboards back. Blood Crow's here. Welcome, Blood Crow. Rock, paper, scissors is still win, but all others are just play. Yeah, well, that's because that's the one they didn't get around to changing for this month. So next month, if they're all play again, then they'll all be play. For some reason, they didn't remember to, or didn't get to changing rock, paper, scissors over to play this month. And they had a little bit of a mistake today on the rock, paper, scissors. It was an hour shorter than it should have been, but Annalise posted on Reddit. Sorry about that. It was a mistake on her part. Slots of Kush says they like Racer the best. Yeah, I'm pretty good at Racer. I mean, I'm average. It's just, I can hit it. I can always get a good launch, and then perfect. But that last perfect, and some reason, sometimes people get this big jump on me, and I'm like, I just did everything as good as I could do it, But I'm looking forward to them redoing these apps, like they or redoing the games, like he said that they were doing. It'll be interesting when the new ones come out. Scott said, had an issue with a couple of the towns around me that did not trigger for badges. I still need 3 badges for my 10% perma boost. Interesting. I would say check the I would say check the map online and make sure you're inside the right area for the badge you want. If it shows up as buyable, then it should be. Maybe you're just like a street over or block over that you should be. I don't know. I would say check the map and make sure you're going to the right area. Arbin says, I'm almost 1,100 parcels. Nice progress, Arbin. Power Daz says, I'm in the 2 times now, 11 away from break even. I can live with that. Yeah, that's not too far. I just don't want to be 200 from the break even. You know what I mean? Russ Miner says, I'm buying my plots at the local dispensaries. Nice. I've been buying a lot of plots at graveyards. This fifth mayorship I'm working on is actually a shopping center, though. So graveyards and shopping centers. Too bad people in the graveyards can't. There's not too much traffic through there playing Atlas Earth. But I mostly did that because when I started out, one of the graveyards had a war memorial in it, and I'm a vet, so I just started doing it, and it was easy because nobody messes with you in a graveyard, right? You can just walk around and, you know, you don't cause any damage to the graveyard, and you just buy your parcels, right? Slots of Kush says, nice. I can't wait to get to 1,721. What does that, what's 1,721? What's so magic about that number? Blood Crow says, I've used Salesforce at many jobs. Not a bad system. Yeah, it's just something I came upon. I mean, I'm an IT guy for years, and our Salesforce admin several years ago had left the company just really quickly. And we needed somebody. So I'm what they call an accidental admin. So they're like, anybody want to do this? And I'm like, okay. So I went, and it took a while to get the certification, started doing it, been doing it ever since. So, and now I'm leaning more towards the development part, since my admin has kind of more development, less admin. So Ulysses says, if you buy parcels in places you'll never go again, can you check on them? Yes, you can look at the map. Also, would you get parcels where you think landmarks will be like Penn Station? I don't think. I think it would be kind of a waste because they've got something in place where they're going to, if a landmark goes in, they're going to reimburse you, but it would be like a waste of time because you just get your Atlas bucks back that you paid for them anyway. So it's kind of a waste of time. I don't think they're going to give you more than what you spent on them. So once again, thanks for joining the live stream. If you haven't, please leave a like on the live stream and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. And if you see that hype button pop up, pop the hype. It doesn't cost you anything. You get 3 hypes a week. I'm still diving into that new system. It can only help. Caveman says, speaking of videos, Pharaoh Silver released a video this week that everyone has been waiting for. I have not checked out his, we chat once in a while, but I need to go check out his videos. This week I've been kind of busy. I'm trying to start up another channel with my daughter. So I'm juggling a lot of things, but I'll have to jump over there and check that out later on. Lady Sharon says, oops, I'm a little late today. A little? Didn't realize the time. Sounds like a lot of things going on, but I'm going to start over in the beginning. Okay, well, yeah, we're always chatting. Lady Sharon's, I've got a Discord channel for my channel, and you can join it. I have the link in the show notes of this video and most of my videos. So if you want to join and we chat once in a while, I've got an Atlas Earth channel, and we just talk about Atlas Earth stuff. So Lady Sharon's on there frequently. Caveman says, here's your free-to-play W2E reminder. What's W2E? Beach Cart Mafia is here. Welcome. Says, good afternoon. You're doing great work. Well, I appreciate the good words, as always. Just wanted to let you know it's appreciated on Atlas Earth. It's a very fun but slightly addicting game. Yeah, I can agree with you there. I've been playing for more than 16 months now. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Well, Thank you much. We got the day Monday off here in the States. Most people do, unless you're like a service worker or something like that. I used to be that, so I can commiserate with you. Um, so it's Labor Day. It's a day here in the States where I think most countries have this kind of day once a year where it's just, it celebrates the working man or the working woman, so to speak, you know. So most people do the last cookout of the year or something like that. We don't really have anything planned, although I do need to get out there and clean my grill up. I'll have to ask the girls if they want to grill anything. Lady Sharon says, summary of my update this week. I did my tier jump and took over an area. Nice. It's always good to get a mayorship. Got a few badge revenue from that. Bought enough badges to get to 10%. And I finished the letter for August yesterday, the ladder. Nice. That sounds like excellent progress, Lady Sharon. Ulysses says, Ulysses, wow, LOL phonetically. Ulysses. I'm just pronouncing it like in the historical stories. In my opinion, I like the swag, hoodie and tee, and get 6 times Atlas bucks. Yeah, I bought, I bought a couple T-shirts and a coffee mug. It's just, you can, it's great if you need to do a challenge and you don't have any swag. But frankly, I had enough coffee cups. It's just I wanted one to do this online, but the logo is placed weird, so I have to kind of crank my hand around to do that. They should place this logo on the front or possibly on the front and the rear in case you're left-handed, right? I've got, although the t-shirts are nice, they're nice and soft. This isn't it. This is the Pink Floyd t-shirt my daughter got me for my birthday here a while back. But I like the t-shirts. Ulysses says 16 hours, do an ad every 20 minutes, and that's a parcel. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. So there's 3, depending upon where you live, right? There's 3 possible per hour if you hit them right every 20 minutes, right? So if you live outside the United States, that's 3 Atlas bucks an hour. If you live in the United States, that's 6 Atlas bucks an hour. So Federico is here. Welcome, Federico. So many things on the table, but nothing we're really seen being implemented. I completely agree. I wish they would focus more on doing one thing and finish it and go on and do the next, and not 20 things at one time. Yeah, I completely agree. It's like we saw a good kickstart to the year. The first 3-4 months of the year, we had a good start, and then it's just like a lot of talk. They're talking about everything they're going to do, but there just hasn't been anything implemented in the last several months, right? So I think we're just kind of in a dearth of action. Not that they're not working on something. It's just as a community, you can only talk about stuff for so long and get our hopes up and see nothing, right? So I can see both sides of it, right? But I completely agree with you. I thought about talking about that. You know, it's a valid topic to talk about, right? Until they actually bring something online. HBK is here, says deleted a game because I wasn't interested in the game, reinstalled, needed the Atlas bucks, thought I could get just deal with the game for a couple days to get the Atlas bucks I needed. Once deleted, disqualified, no Atlas bucks. Yeah, that would be an Annalise or a support question, but I think that's I think they said that if you downloaded the game and it was in your active games section and you re-downloaded it, then you could still earn Atlas bucks. But if you downloaded it, deleted it, and then say, for instance, it went through the 90 days and expired, you can't do it again after that. So, but another thing we can ask Annalise down the road. But if you submitted that to support and that's what they said, well, that's what they said. Ulysses says that roll into crypto would be clutch. Russ says, I invested 5,000 in 22. I think you commented on a show earlier this month, or a video earlier last week. I always withdraw almost 20% recouped. Okay, that's why I think I had answered your question or your statement on one of my videos with, I was wondering how much you had recouped. So of the 5K since 22, you've recouped 20% of it. Well, here's hoping that you get the rest of your money back pretty quickly. As time goes along, you know, the amount you're bringing out of it should go up, you know, so. Ulysses says, was going to buy my first badge as a city, state, or country, but just took the challenge badges first. Yeah, I mean, it's free. Those challenge badges has really helped me out. Blood Crow says, well, you have to do the work for them, so they're not exactly free, but it's better. They help out. Blood Crow says, when 50 times event rolls around, how does it affect that 2 and 3 times? Do they also get 50 times for the event? So the way the SRB works is that when it goes live, if you are manually boosted, in other words, you've watched your ads, your boost goes from whatever it currently is to 50 times. Okay? So that's it. And it stays at 50 times throughout the event as long as you are boosted. And then when the event changes, when the event turns off after 32 hours, each one is 32 hours, then your boost goes back to whatever your present boost was, whether it's 2 times multiplier or whatever it is. It's automatic. The only prerequisite is that you need to be manually boosted. So, and it's worth noting here that I like to throw in this a bunch. I know if you've watched my videos, I say this a lot, but I've got a lot of new people here. So I like to mention this type of thing over and over again. So currently, this is the biggest live stream I've ever had. So I want to say thank you to everybody joining. We are over 70 people, 75 people on here now. So I do appreciate it. But the point I was getting ready to make is, as you play through the game, the importance of your manual boost, whether it's 30, 20, 15, whatever it is, as you gain more parcels, the money you earn goes down and the importance of the SRB goes up. So after you get past maybe 3 times in that area, you are earning the majority of your money in Atlas Earth off that SRB. Okay, so I'm not saying you don't need to manually boost, because I manually boost all day long at 3 times, because the way I consider it is 3 times is better than 1 times, right? But most of my money is coming from that SRB on a monthly basis, okay? So, and that is kind of when I do my money withdrawals from the game. After an SRB is done, I remove most of mine. Now, I've been kind of slacking off. I have about 30 bucks I need to remove. So I'll put that in my bank or in my PayPal savings. I'll remove $10 of that to pay for my next month challenge ladder, just to keep it accurate. And then it earns a little bit of interest, right? So that's just the way I do it. Do you have to do it? No. It's everybody plays a little bit different, right? That was kind of a long, drawn-out answer. Sorry. Soul is here. Welcome, Soul. Is it worth it to convert $3 of rent into 99 Atlas bucks and buy a parcel? Currently at 43 parcels. I just really think that, first of all, the first thing I'll mention, if you're at about 43 parcels, make sure you got your first badge. If you haven't bought your first badge, buy your first badge and kick yourself into that 5% bonus, okay? After that, I really don't buy... I don't really use the rent to Atlas buck conversions except for the challenge ladder. I usually do the first 2 rent to Atlas buck conversions, and I know it's only getting 25 in most cases. Some months the 33-to-1 coincides with the challenge ladder and you can make that happen, but I do that because they're heavily weighted. You get a lot of points for the rent to Atlas buck conversions, but other than those, which is only accounts for like $4, I I don't do it. I usually save my rent just to save it. The majority of why I do that is to get the points for the challenge ladder. So, but it just depends. At your rate, I would probably just save it, not worry about it. Kelly's here from Australia. Hello, Kelly. It's pretty late down there. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate your time as always. I love to see new names. I love to see it. Thanks for dropping by. Scott Kovac says, of course, the thing you have to say when somebody from Australia is around, I'll put a shrimp on the Barbie. I don't know. That came from, what was the dude that was from Australia back in the day that had the, that's not a knife. This is a knife. That dude. Forget the name of that show. But either way, I think that came from that movie. Either way, it's just like anytime there's somebody from Australia, somebody's got to say that, right? Sherry says, I think daylight saving times ends in November now, November 2nd. Okay, good call. I'm always like that weekend. I'm always checking. When's it change? Ulysses says, can you only see your parcels if you're there for traveling? You can see your parcels on the map. On the web browser. You can open your web browser on your phone and you can log into the Atlas Earth website and go to the map tab and view your parcels. You can't do anything with them because, like I said, or I have said in the past, one of the key elements, design elements of the game is to do with anything with your parcels, you have to be there because, you know, that would lead to more manipulation that they didn't design the game for, right? So. But you can look at your parcels on the map. Blood Crow says, I want them to partner with another fast food place like Jack's or Sonic's or something. Miss the Burger King. Yeah, I want to make this statement again. You guys, a lot of people are making the statement. It's not Atlas Earth's choice, okay? This is the other company wanting to spend advertising dollars with Atlas Earth, okay? Atlas Earth, the only decision they have in this kind of marketing is going after an account, trying to offer it to Burger King or trying to offer it to Sonic or whatever. You know, they have that choice, but they don't have the choice to say, hey, you're going to be our partner. It's the other way around. It is Sonic or Burger King or McDonald's. I don't use a lot of those places. I do like the drinks at Sonic. I like the tater tots. Used to have a Sonic by my house when I lived in outside New Orleans. Don't have one nearby anymore, but off the topic. Anyway, it's marketing, it's advertising dollars spent by those companies, and those companies have to choose to spend it with Atlas Earth. And when you see a company drop off the AMP program, that's because that company has chosen to no longer spend their marketing dollars with Atlas Earth. Okay, I just want to be clear about that. But yeah, I can agree. I'm looking forward. You know, I would love to have a local grocery store or a gas station like they were talking about. I would love to have a Wawa join. You know, I'm up here in Philly. You know, we have a lot of Wawas. It's a fancy gas station that serves great coffee, you know. I would love to have something like that, or a grocery store around us, because we all spend money at the grocery store, so why not get Atlas Bucks? But once again, it would be dependent upon that company to want to spend their advertising dollars with Atlas Earth. Whoops. Cerezi says, I also managed to finish scene 10 on the Disney Solitaire game this week. Not sure if it's the same for everyone, but I think I have to finish 29 of them to complete all the arcade tasks. I've been working on that too. Let me check. I seem to be able to. There seems to be something in the game where it allows you to clear like 2 or 3 hands, and then it just gets too hard. And you end up spending all your coins to try to get through one hand, and then you have to end up waiting. It's just the way the game is designed. So let's throw this back on here. I am working on completing Scene 8 currently, and that will net me 59 Atlas bucks. Once again, I'm on iOS, and I live here in the States. I think the max is 29, like you said. And wow, look at that. 666. I don't even know. I know I'm not going to be able to complete that. First of all, I only have 155 days left, but at the rate this has been going, clearing, you know, maybe 6 boards a day or something like that, there's no way that I'm going to be able to clear that. But I'll get as much done as possible. It's an interesting game. Like I said, it's the I've got to do my ad here. I've been working on it too, in other words, but I'm working on Scene 8. Steven says, I'm on day 58, cashing out tonight for the first time. It'll be about $8.75. I'll cash out at the end of the month from here on out. Yeah, I mean, I used to have like a plan. I'm doing it, you know, at certain points. Now I just kind of do it after SRBs, because after each SRB, I seem to have like $25 to $30 to cash out. It just seems the logical way. But this is also a good time to go ahead and mention to people that you need to cash out on a regular basis, at least once a year. You don't want to get in a situation where you're just amounting this huge amount of rent in game that's just sitting there, okay, that you could do something else with. Because consider this, point 1, you could be doing something else with it. Point 2, if the game happened to go under, and I'm not saying it is, it's doing great right now, but if it happened to go under, you'd lose all that. So you need to shift it somewhere. And point 3, I guess, is the terms of service. You need to do at least 1 withdrawal a year. So, but it is good to do it on a regular basis. I would agree. Ulysses says they'd like to see Starbucks. I don't use Starbucks. Not that I dislike them. I think they're a little bit overpriced. Like I said, I generally don't go out. I don't go out a lot. I go to work and I come home. I'll have to go to the gas station once every couple weeks. But I just, you know, I like the coffee at Wawa, and the coffee is half the price of what it is at Starbucks. So. Donnie says, good evening from the Netherlands. Good evening to you as well, Donnie. Thanks for being a member of the channel. Appreciate it. Russ says, how's your legendary parcel clusters? I found 3 next to each other before a handful of times. Yeah, I mean, it's just random. You know, it's random. Sometimes you hit them, sometimes you don't. That's another big question new users have. They're not preordained. They don't have the map pre-laid out and then you turn something over. There's no patterns you can find in this game. It's just you have a certain percentage chance. It's like opening a pack of cards if you're a card collector. You have a certain percentage chance to draw a legendary, and that happens to be 5%. You also have a 50% chance to draw a common. That's why they call them commons, and that's why you'll see mostly commons. So, but it's fun once in a while when you do like buy 10 or 20, something like that, and then you find several legendaries pop up. But then the next time you buy, you won't get any. So, you know, I've had that happen. So I had 12 commons in a row one time when I was doing a 25 draw. So. Just scrolling through chat, see, get my place back. Blood Crow says, I want them to partner with another fast food place like Jack's or Sonic's. Yeah, it'd be nice. But once again, back to what I said earlier. Void Tyran says, is it worth to buy the premium challenge thing? I think I talked about it. Yeah. If you're brand new to the game, I would not subscribe for the first month. I would try to get through the challenge ladder. If you can get better than 70% through the challenge ladder, then it's worth the $10 subscription, because the Atlas bucks you get out of it up to the 70% mark is well worth the $10 compared to just outright buying them. And anything above the 75%, including completing it with the LPU, is just icing on the cake. It's the best value in the game from reinvesting your money that I can see. Skip says, hello, I'm finally back from my 2 months vacation. 2-month vacation, that's nice. I haven't even taken a vacation today, or this year. It's kind of a shame. Most of my time off I spend going to the doctors. That happens when you get old. I got to get a tooth filled at the dentist on Tuesday. Took a day off because I don't feel like, after you get your teeth drilled on, and you don't feel like going back to work, right? Skip goes on, didn't have much time to play the game, especially when traveling to a country that Atlas Earth is not available. Anyway, I'm back to the grind. Well, I'm glad to hear that you had a good time and are rested up. Back to the grind. I find Atlas Earth fun. There are some things I don't find fun. The mini games, that's why I don't really do them a whole lot, except for the challenge ladder. But like I said, everybody plays a little bit different. So Blood Crow says, at Ulysses, yes, my wife plays Atlas Earth also. She could rack up so much. Yeah, I mean, the best time to buy badges is when you go on a trip, simply put. That's why it makes people who travel often easy. Badge buying is easy for them, whereas the rest of us continue to find it harder and harder to reach out and get badges as time goes along from where you generally live. Caveman says, I'm number 11 until my tier jump. Donnie says, I have the feeling they are going to do something with the diamonds, so I'm over collecting them. I haven't heard anything about the diamonds, but as with everything, I wouldn't be surprised. Last thing I heard, they continue to say that the diamonds are just for the wheel, which is basically just free Atlas bucks every day, right? So I'm not arguing with it. I never argue with it. Yeah. In the terms of service, they basically say they can change the game however they want. More power to them, So Ulysses says, sitting here doing the math, like 1 cent a second, that's $864 a day. Yeah, that would be great, but unreasonable. Caveman says you can get 30 parcels a month just by taking the free-to-play. What is W2E? What am I'm missing here? I know what free-to-play means. Reminder, which is now. Anne's here. Welcome, Anne. Thanks for supporting the channel, as always. I like the challenges now that I have completed the August ladder as a free-to-play. There's a first time for everything. Yeah, nice. Like I said, everybody plays a little bit different. I think if you get into a position, and this applies to any game, and you're forcing yourself to play in a way you're not enjoying, then it's just not a game anymore. You're not having fun. I understand we make money doing this, but this is, I think I could make the argument, this is not life-changing money, right? In some areas of the world, it could help you get along, right? But it's not life-changing. I still say I play it as a game, and I play it for something to cover on my channel, and I have fun with it. So Donnie says, I am now at, wow, that's a big number. The second is still far away from becoming rich. Yeah, basically putting that he's not making very much per second. Yeah, it starts out very slow. But like I said, you just keep up with it, and it just multiplies over time, or compounds is a better term, I guess. HBK says, this is back to their previous terms or statement. Once you delete a game and reinstall it, you no longer qualify for the Atlas bucks for that game. I learned the hard way, so don't delete even if you end up not liking it. You might be in desperate need for Atlas bucks. Okay, well, I'll take your word on it. That might be a good thing to put into a video, so I'll put that down. Thanks for bringing it up. Caveman says, yeah, I think I will wait for the first parcel challenge and then buy to break even. Then as other challenges become available, I will purchase the rest. Yep. Just try not to stay in that in-between part too long. Arvin says, enjoy your coffee, brother. Yeah, I mean, I love coffee. We've got a Phillips coffee maker at home that makes several different types of fresh ground coffee, and it was not a cheap coffee maker. and I have to do maintenance on it every week, you know, cleaning it up and everything, but it makes such good coffee. Um, and in fact, I love beer and whiskey too, but I haven't drank any beer and whiskey since the end of February this year. Um, and I can do without them. It's hard once in a while, but I couldn't do without my coffee. um, DJ Dub Stomps in the house. Welcome once again. Thanks for supporting the channel. Yeah, you're getting here. We did go over, so we got another 15 minutes. But I felt that the conversation was going nice and strong. So why stop? So we'll go another 15 minutes. Ulysses says, "Where's the map online? It's not available on mobile device." You would have to get it on mobile device. You would have to log into this website. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. Go to atlasearth.com. and log in, and then there's a tab up at the top that says map. And I don't log in on this screen whenever I'm on stream because it shows some personal information that I choose not to show. But yeah, log in, and you have to do it in your browser, not in the game. It doesn't show it in the game. Log into your browser and then choose the map tab at the top. And you can scroll around the map worldwide and check things out. Obviously, on a phone, it would be kind of, you know, there's, you know, you pinch to zoom in and stuff like that. You can see where everybody's located. And you start out your main area wherever you're at currently. And then you just have to kind of scroll out and go to wherever you want to look at. Ulysses goes on to say, "I really was looking for a map of the world where you can just go where there's available parcels before going." Yeah, you can use the map for that too. In fact, it's a little bit finicky. You have to scroll, you have to zoom in to a certain point to be able to see the lines where the badges cut off, city, state, local, you know. So if you're zoomed way out, you're not going to see the lines of the cities. And you have to zoom in a certain amount, and then you see these hard black lines that go along. And you're going to, those are the division lines between where the cities are. Let's just take a minute. I'm going to take this screen off for a minute, and I'm going to log in so we can kind of show you what I'm talking about. Get past. And of course, it's throwing. And it's not letting me log in. So it's throwing up a bunch of... I haven't logged into it in a few days, so now it's throwing me an extra Apple login screen. So I'm not going to go ahead and go through that. That's going to take me extra few minutes to get through. But log in the browser to atlasearth.com and go up to the map tab. Kid Flash 360 is here, says, "Hey Bronze, just a quick question. What is the current level status above the total amount of parcels bought, and how does it go up? I'm on the cowboy hat, and is it to do with the parcels you own?" Yes. At certain levels, you just go up in cowboy in hats. It has nothing to do with anything else, doesn't affect anything else. It's probably one of the biggest questions we get from new players. It's just a way to show that you're moving up. And there's I don't have the exact scale, but there's a scale out there that shows you how many parcels you need to have the next hat. So it doesn't affect anything else. Yeah, he's saying this level. So it's just you buy more parcels and you get the next better hat, basically. Doesn't affect anything. So except gives you a different hat. Caveman says, "What species do you work on? I don't know you are a vet. I have a domestic short hair." Oh, I'm not a vet. Are you talking to somebody else, Caveman? Arbin says, "YouTube asked me if you like Eminem." I do have a few albums of his. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan of his, but there's a few things I like of his. I would say I'm a fan of old school rap. I love all kinds of music. I primarily listen to rock and old school rock and blues. Love blues. And I like some of the old school R&B, hip hop type stuff. Depending upon my mood, just like all of us, right? You're in a certain mood, you want to listen to a certain type of music, right? So, Vatarian says, I just planned a little journey to get like 17 badges in one run. Nice. Very excited about this to come. Yeah, it's nice whenever you can plan out those little journeys because, like I said, you have to take a trip in most cases after you've been playing for a while and you've bought most of the badges in your general area where you live. It becomes more of a trip thing. Siphon Wolf says, I got 43 parcels now here in America, 2 badges, and I make 22 cents a day. So the grind is real. And they go on to say the map is on the Atlas Earth website, like I just went over. Caveman says, almost every week you have somebody in the chat asking about walk to earn apps. Silver did a top 3 passive to earn apps video. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been using the CashWalk app, and I've played it for just a little bit over a month. I just haven't done a video on it yet. I was hoping I'd earn more. It took me a day over a month to earn a $5 gift card. That's the basics of that. So it's worth it considering you're going to be walking anyway. Obviously, that is not using one of those cheesy things that keeps your phone moving to artificially inflate your steps. That's just my average, everyday walking. So, Russ Miner says, my plot hits are better than yours. I wonder why that is. Possibly because I was an early adopter. I don't know. It's all random. But I do know that if your plots get out of a certain variation of, especially with legendaries, if you find yourself getting way outside of that 5%, then you might find yourself inspected by the team because they keep a watch on the percentages that you have of parcels and rarities. Because this is a big thing they're watching out for and trying to fight is the parcel rarity manipulation. So, but as long as you haven't manipulated anything, you're doing good, then you shouldn't have to worry about it. Oh, Caveman says watch to earn is what W2E means. Essentially, it's that 20-minute timer reminder to watch those ads. Oh, yeah. Caveman says it's great when you want to drink sideways, talking about my coffee cup where I have to show the logo and drink like this. Maybe on the next batch they'll fix the logo. I know they brought it up to them. Ulysses says, can you show us how to access the map for where you are not currently? Yeah, like I said, and just come to this website, atlasearth.com, log in, and then there's a map tab at the top. That's exactly how you do it. And if you do it on mobile, you'll have to do it in your mobile browser. Arbin says, the best community is Atlas Earth. I kind of agree. Great community. Everybody's usually pretty nice. Except for once in a while, there's somebody that pops up on the Reddit or on the Discord, and they, say some things that get them banned. K-Man says, yeah, I downloaded 2 games, opened only one. The other now isn't eligible to earn anymore. Now, each of us here must bring one friend next week. AE Church is in session. Totes, just kidding. But let's try to double or triple our views. Yeah, the more people, if they play Atlas Earth, have them join. The more, it's great. The more people you have on a live stream, the more comments and questions and everything, the discussion just flows a lot more, a lot better. Whenever there's just a few people on the stream, it's hard to keep the conversation going. G Foster 22 is here. I'm currently at 97 parcels, 11 badges, 55 cents a day, 16 a month. Nice. It's all constant. Ulysses says Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, that's it. My Financial Journeys here, welcome, says, love the Crocodile Dundee impression. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make anybody from Australia mad, but that's just, I find it funny that whenever, as an American, whenever somebody from Australia is in the house, then somebody always has to say something about shrimp on the Barbie. Russ says, it looks like the founder has been hitting too many festivals lately since I watched the AMA. I don't know. Hey, it's Sherry says, I see you've played Knifey Spoony before. I don't know what Knifey Spoony is. Lady Sharon says, I always remember when daylight savings time ends because it's the weekend after my birthday. Well, happy impending birthday here in a while. Caveman says, I thought when you had an Aussie in the crowd, you said crikey, mate. No, I try not to make people mad. I did kind of revert into my very bad Australian accents. My Financial Journey says, get all your arcade goals ready to claim for the next challenge ladder. Yeah, that's a very good point. It's the point of after, when you're working into your next month of challenges to start staging some of your arcade goals, have them ready to go. In other words, don't, trip them off, but have them ready to go so that whenever the new month clicks over, it says arcade goal, you're ready to go. And do another level, and you got it. Strategy. Ulysses says, wow, I just figured out this map. Had to log in. Wow, game changer. Yeah, they put this in several months ago. It was a game changer and still is. It's a great way to plan out where you want to go get your badges and your parcels for possibly taking over a mayorship, etc. Vetarian says, Solitaire is on my list as well, but this game is making me sick. You can actually see how the algorithm making it harder every few levels. They really want you to play, pay or buy. Yeah, and a lot of games are like that. My wife plays another game it's a different type of game, but it follows the same algorithm, right? You get to go through a few levels on a daily basis, but then you hit this wall where you just can't progress. Obviously, they want you to stop and put $5 or $10 into the game to get yourself ahead. But if you wait until the next day, then it'll let you progress again, and it's kind of staged that way. Caveman says, I feel that it would be dangerous if gas and groceries were included. Maybe Atlas Earth can partner with Built Rewards. Then you can earn from rent, utilities, Lyft, Walgreens using the same card. That would be interesting. I feel that the problem with doing groceries is that groceries, from what I've heard, have a very thin profit margin to start with. So I don't know. That's kind of why I don't see a whole lot of advertising for grocery stores other than the flyers they put out. I think most grocery stores, from my viewpoint, at least around here, the majority of their advertising is just money, is just putting the flyers you get, what food's on sale this week, etc. So I don't know how much money advertising wise grocery stores have to put towards the AMP program. Caveman goes on to say Built counts debit purchases as credit. I don't have any information about the Built, so I'll have to take your word on it. Haven't used it. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard of it until you mentioned it. Russ says, I recommend trying to bust out the ladder challenge as soon as possible. I missed out last month on the number 9 challenge badge by like 100 points. This month, I complete it in a few weeks. Yeah, I agree. I try to get it done as soon as possible and just be done with it. DJ Dubstomp says, I typically, during the month 33-1, also save November and December together for the 40-1 conversion. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, for those who haven't played that long, the last couple of years, they have had a 40-1 at the end of the year. It's like a New Year's type thing. It's like the last day or two of the year usually. That doesn't mean it's going to happen this year. It's one of those surprise things that they always say it could happen. It's just happened the last couple of years. So some people who use the conversion during the last couple of the months, just a couple months of the year, save up some extra just to use for that 40-to-1 conversion. Donnie says, I had 6 epics on a row this week. Nice. I am high in my epics, but low in my legendary. Yeah, this last purchase I did of 25 parcels, I got like 4 epics, but no legendaries. Caveman says, I currently have a year of both Atlas Earth subs. I hope to get my parcels to be enough to earn more than that amount every year, if not monthly. Yeah, keep us up to date. Let us know when you break even. I am just right in legendaries thanks to challenge upgrades, but red everything else. Anne says, I just found that the Atlas Earth website links to their Discord by scrolling down to the bottom of the page. Yep. Okay, we went a half hour over, but it's been a great discussion. The last word of the day goes to Ferrari Lover. I am getting the challenge ladder this month. Nice. And thanks for dropping by. Alfie, I know I forgot to say hi. I was just scrolling through. There's a bunch of chat. I usually get behind in the chat because I'm talking about what everybody's saying, and then I don't get to all the chat. But I do appreciate everybody dropping by. So once again, if you want to, join us again next Sunday at noon Eastern Time, we'll be here once again discussing Atlas Earth for an hour, hour and a half, depending upon how the conversation goes. As always, I appreciate you dropping by and spending time with me. Please leave a like and subscribe on the videos if you haven't already subscribed, and hit that new hype button if you see it. Otherwise, this has been Bronze Dragon. I hope everyone on your side is happy and healthy, because if we don't have health, we have nothing. And I will see you in Atlas Earth. Oh, and good luck on getting the challenge ladder started this week.